scored 34 points in the Rockets' 198 win over the Clippers. No Dwight Howard, no problem. No timetable either for his return. But Blake Griffin returned in Sunday's loss to Houston. It was his first game since February. He had 11 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. Chris Paul missed a jumper in the final seconds to tie the game. Both teams are fighting for high seedings. Right now, Rockets 4th, Clippers 6th. Here's the question. Playoffs start. Which team goes deeper, Stephen A?
Depends on who they match up with. Right now, I would venture to say that even though the Houston Rockets have been playing exceptionally well and James Harden has proven himself to be a big-time league MVP candidate, I would pick the Clippers to go further, regardless of their inconsistencies, because I think their squad is better suited for the postseason. What we've seen from the Houston Rockets is a Herculean effort put forth by James Harden with players we barely know. Now we know Trevor Ariza, and of course Terrence Jones can play, and they got that big boy, and all of that helps. But in the end, it's James Harden's team. It's just that simple. It was supposed to be James Harden and Dwight Howard's team, but Dwight Howard hasn't been healthy. He's missed his games. When he comes back, chemistry, cohesiveness, all of that stuff has to kick in. I don't know how that's going to work out for them. I said it at the beginning of the year, even if Dwight Howard was healthy, because Omar Sheik was gone and Chandler Parsons were gone, even though I think Trevor Ariza is obviously a quality replacement and just as good as Chandler Parsons in my estimation. The fact is that even with the squad, even with the healthy Dwight Howard, chances are that the Houston Rockets are going home in the first round. That's what I said before the season even began. Remember, they lost to Portland last year. I don't think Portland got any worse. I knew Golden State didn't get any worse. Obviously, the Clippers didn't get worse. You look at San Antonio, even though they didn't manage nobly. We don't know his status or whatever. We don't know.
I think he's going to be okay.
I hope he's going to be okay. Oklahoma City, we didn't know about Kevin Durant's foot and it was going to keep him out this many games. So I stood by, I stand by that. I look at the Clippers. I expected Spencer Horst to be better. I expected them to have a legitimate dude to spell for DeAndre Jordan, so DeAndre Jordan's free throw shooting couldn't be on the court in the fourth quarter. But I still believe in DeAndre Jordan because I think he has a profound impact on the game when he's on the squad, when he's on the floor, so outside of his free throws. I think Blake Griffin will find himself. As long as he's healthy, he'll be fine. CP3, obviously he didn't hit his winning shot last night, but we know what he can do. We saw him against Russell Westbrook last week. I just look at the Los Angeles Clippers, and I see them getting past the first round. I can tell you that much because they were my preseason pick to go to the finals.
They were.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to go home in the first round because I don't believe that's going to be the case. I see Houston lasting a lot shorter than the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay.
I think the Clippers would go further.
I think the Rockets will go a little further. But up front, I'm here to say I don't love either one of these teams. So maybe the better way for me to say it is I like the Clippers a little less than I like the Rockets, which is why the Rockets would go a little farther. There's just something not right with the Clippers, and I can't put my finger on it, but they're going to go as far as Chris Paul takes them. Now, they didn't have Jamal Crawford. They haven't had him for a while, so that could be a huge X factor that would have helped get them over the hump yesterday. But down the stretch, and I realize Blake's been gone for a while, but that bull in a China shot play that he made, great steal, then he dribbles the length of the floor and just tries to run over Trevor Ariza. Just not a smart basketball play, which always jars me because I love the coach. I love Doc Rivers. But I don't know even yet that he's gotten through to this team. Then they come down to the final shot, do or die, win or lose, and they put Ariza on CP3. And what is Chris? Is he 5'11"? I don't even know if he's 6 feet tall, right?
They say he's 6 feet.
I'm not sure he is.
He's about 6 feet tall.
About 6 feet?
He's about 6 feet.
And Ariza goes, I don't know, 6'7" maybe?
Yes.
And he just loomed up over him, and I'm pretty sure Chris shot an air ball. It didn't look like a touchdown.
I don't know why his number was called on the final play. I don't understand.
I don't know. But maybe that would have been a Jamal Crawford shot if Jamal had been
I guarantee you this much. Jamal Crawford would have got the shot off. He'd have got the shot off, and it would have touched the rim.
Okay, so if you look at this stat sheet, and I realize it's just one regular season game, but we're getting into crunch time here where you can start to really decipher what these teams are all about. This was obviously at Staples, so it's in L.A. It's their home game, and they win every big statistical category. They shoot the ball better. It's 44% to 37%. They win the boards 50 to 43, and you're thinking, gee, boy, they won this game. And then you look at the turnovers. 20 turnovers for the home team to 12 for the visiting team. Then you look at the key stat, the free throw shooting. The one thing I do love about Houston is James Harden makes his free throws.
No question.
He's an 87% free throw shooter. And yesterday he'd made 17 straight. He did miss the most important one, potentially at the end of the game, his 18th attempt. But it didn't come back to bite them. So they make their free throws. They protected the ball with only 12 turnovers. And I'm going to say this. I like the addition of Ariza defensively, but Stephen A., in the end, I'm no big Dwight Howard fan, but I think they would be a little bit better and go a little bit farther with Dwight. Even though I love their energy and flow without him, just in the playoffs, it helps to have one big guy to fight their big guy. Yep. You know,
That's surprising coming from him.
But if they're matched up in a, let's just do a potential playoffs here, whatever. You never know how, as you say, what the matchups are going to turn out because it is in flux right now.
In flux right now. Well, the Clippers are tied with Dallas.
Yeah, yeah.
The identical record.
Yeah. So I don't know how it's going to shake out, but. If these two played in the playoffs, would you not like to have Dwight against DeAndre? Yeah.
Oh, no, well, if they face, see, here's the interesting part. When you ask the question, who would go further, I said it depends on the matchup. Because here's the thing. I could see Houston going home in the first round.
Yeah.
But I could also see them beating the Clippers because they hit free throws. So if they faced one another, then that would debunk my theory about Houston not going as far as the Clippers. Because I think that the Clippers, the problem that the Clippers have is that if you are an elite team who plays with efficiency, or you are a team like the Rockets who make their free throws, you're going to give the Clippers problems.
You are.
Because they will foul you. You will get an opportunity to shoot free throws, but more importantly, you will force them to have to make theirs. And everybody on their squad doesn't make their free throws, particularly DeAndre Jordan. And that's where you have a problem. But I believe, for example, if Houston were to go up against Portland, I think Portland would beat Houston. But I think the Clippers could beat Portland.
I mean, it took a hellacious Damian Lillard 3 last year from about 40 feet to beat them.
But that was in that final. I mean, they won the series 4-2. They go 7 games.
Okay, but it took that to stop it.
Right. And it was listen. I mean, they played great, and James and Dwight Howard played very well. Believe it or not, he deserves credit for that. But I'm just telling you, against the Clippers, it wouldn't be as easy because the Clippers have size. More so than.
Well, I got you. So final point. And I don't want to beat the dead horse that is DeAndre's free throw shooting, but a big difference in the game yesterday. He went 1 for 8 from the free throw line.
Well, it just got to figure that out.
But it's a close game. It came down to the last shot.
12%.
Wow.
12%.
All right, so standings, gentlemen, you just talked about it. Warriors, Grizzlies, Trailblazers, Rockets, Spurs, Clippers, Mavericks, same record, Stephen A. pointed out, and the Thunder pulling up the rear at 8. We will see how this all shakes out. The West is deep. Speaking of football, NBA doubleheader tonight on ESPN at 8. LeBron heads back to South Beach as the Cavs take on the Heat. Then at 10:30, the Warriors host the Lakers. Not too bad. NBA special edition tonight. NBA countdown just before that. When we return, Michael Irvin says even if the Cowboys replace DeMarco Murray with Adrian Peterson, it still doesn't make sense. Why'd they let him go? His words after the break. Yes, we're talking about everything, the NCAA, NFL, NBA, some boxing. Head over to our Instagram rundown. Check it out for yourselves. We'll be right back in just a few moments.